at Jefferson Parish City.
Or anyone that lost their life during this tremendous event in the city of Gretna. We, as Mayor will speak to in a minute, you know, the damage as we figured last night was greater than what we first assessed with her teams going out and doing that evaluation. From a public safety standpoint, we're getting a lot of the street lights back on, traffic lights back on, clearing debris from roadways. We had some troubles this morning with people trying to traverse through the city, schools that opened in areas that caused us a little bit of a problem because they had no access to the schools, and it caused some congestion and some confusion. But you know, everything from a public safety standpoint is good. We've had no major issues other than trying to get streets cleared and make them safe and help as many people as we can. One of the things that created a problem with the loss of electricity was that a lot of people who were on oxygen did not have oxygen. So we run the EMS service in the city of Gretna. So we started bringing bottles of oxygen from our EMS department to those individuals and get them on oxygen so that they can make it through the process. And now some of that power is coming back on, so it has helped us tremendously. So I want to thank y'all for getting the message out. It was a great help. I know that in speaking to many of the people that throughout the city, the reason I contribute that we don't have a greater impact of loss of life or injuries was because of the media and the reporting of the meteorologists that warned people. There's so many people I talked to that said that they took to a safe place in their home because they heard it on TV. They heard it, you know, so that was a tremendous service. You've been a tremendous service to us with traffic and kind of keeping those curiosity seekers out, and I appreciate that very much. And at this time, I'd like to call upon our mayor, Mayor Belinda Constant, to give you a more detailed report on the state of the city. Mayor?
Thank you, Chief, and I'll echo the Chief as well. Thank you so much for giving us this opportunity. The first thing I do want to say is that we're thankful. We're thankful for no loss of life. We're thankful that it has a beautiful day today and people have an opportunity to begin to clean up and assess their damages, which is what we've been doing all morning here in the city. Early estimates are there's 30 plus structures that we consider to be early demolitions. As we speak, Jefferson Parish, along with our building department, is still continuing to assess the area. This number is based on only about, I'd say about a 60% assessment at this time. So we do know that there'll be some emergency demos that is imminent. We are beginning to set up a tarp distribution. We've got tremendous amount of roof damage across this tornadic area. And we're going to begin for people that have the wherewithal, that have the ability to get someone to put a tarp on their roof. We'll be distributing at 9 o'clock in the morning at City Hall. They can pick up a tarp. We are continuing to work with the EOC of Jefferson Parish and other people at the state level, looking to be able to get a group of people to come in and do and install tarps for the individuals that just don't have the wherewithal or the ability to have that job done. We'll have to get back with further information about that. We are, however, taking names, and we're out in the community knocking on the doors of the people that have the damage and assessing their ability, whether or not they need to get someone to put on a tarp or if they can do it themselves. But they can reach out to City Hall to absolutely get on a list to get that job done. We're still working out the details on that. Also working with the Lieutenant Governor's Office, Billy Nungesser, and other individuals through the Governor's Office for temporary housing. I'm being told that there'll be alternative housing at Bayou Signet Park. They're working on that as we speak, and I know there's a press conference later with the governor, and I'm sure he'll mention some of that. We've had probably half of the people that are still out of electricity from last night, which was between 2,500 and 3,000 residents. Half of those residents have been restored this morning. We are being told that Entergy believes that most of those individuals will be restored by end of day or early evening, unless there's considerable other problems that's going to mean it's going to be identifiable to just that structure, and there'll be more work to be done. We will be open tomorrow. City Hall will be back and open for normal course of business tomorrow. City Hall opens at 8 o'clock in the morning. I again have to say thank you to the media for the job that y'all did, because we're not living in an area where we have these underground basements and places that we routinely go to when there's tornadoes. This was definitely not routine day here in the city of Gretna, and because of the due diligence of the media, we know of people that survived in a bathtub because they heeded the warning of get to the bathroom in the safest place you can go. We're working on outreach from the parish and other municipalities as we speak, meeting the needs of the people that were most impacted and have lost everything. As we talked about yesterday, it's incredible time of the year. It's Christmas time. It's when people are excited about the next week or two. And for some of us, that's been a devastating event now. And we want to meet the needs of people so we can bring some of that joy back as immediate as we can, so that people can re-engage in what this Christmas and what this time of year is really about. So with that, we are happy to take questions. Also, Councilman Rudy Smith is in the room with us, who's impacted pretty severely in his district. Yes.
Mayor, just walking your streets this morning as the sun came up and getting a complete picture of the devastation, just what was going through your mind? Was it just a hush that came over that just, what do we do? I mean, what were your thoughts just looking at it when the light came up?
I mean, it was pretty surreal. It really was. It was incredibly quick the way it happened yesterday. Dark fell upon us just about an hour and a half in. And so the morning light really did showcase the extent of the damage. And it was a lot more significant than what I felt yesterday evening. I don't know if the councilman wants to add anything, or the chief, but it was surreal. Yeah. But people here are resilient, and they were out in their neighborhoods doing what they needed to do to begin recovery. Sabrina.
Yes, Mayor, last night you said hundreds of structures either destroyed or damaged. Do you have a better sense of that number now?
Yeah, we think it's definitely over that. What I talked about in the 30-ish and a little bit above that is emergency demos. Those are the most severe. But we've got tremendous damage to larger buildings that we know are not tear downs, but it's significant damage. So I would think hundreds is still an accurate number. We are, however, working right now on the emergency demos first and foremost.
You all have obviously been here a lifetime and seen this. Is this maybe, I hate to measure misery, but like, can you remember anything like this or Katrina, anything that you can kind of draw a parallel to?
You know, we had an emergency council meeting this morning, and Councilman Rao, who's been, he's the senior member, if you will, and he said that he remembers probably 70 years ago a tornado here in the city. This is definitely not routine for us. We prepare for hurricanes. It's something we all live with. Y'all know that. Y'all live here as well. Tornado events is not usually something that we experience. So we believe it's been that long.
Yeah, Travis, to speak on that, being here for almost 50 years now, and going through numerous hurricanes, the damage is completely different. In a hurricane, you have water events and you have, a lot of power lines down that, but the number of buildings that receive substantial damage is greater than, say, Katrina. Although we had a lot of damage during Katrina, we had damage during Ida, the substantial damage to buildings was a lot greater during this event than past hurricanes.
Hi, I apologize for my tardiness. So you may have already mentioned resources. But are there any immediate resources for people with damage to their homes? And what is the biggest hurdle you all are facing right now?
I think the biggest, in fact, the councilman and I was out there just now. The biggest hurdle is roof damage. It's either total devastation or we need to torp the roofs, right? The FEMA the FEMA torp program has expired and is not in effect at this time. And given as much devastation as we see, we don't believe it, I'm being told, is raised to the level of a federal disaster, right? So we're in that quandary. So we are working diligently through the state office with the governor down to the EOC with Jefferson Parish, and we have tarps in place. We talked about that a little bit earlier. The parish has opened up King's Grant as a resource center, which is also open to our residents. But at this point in time, we're just trying to secure alternative housing, which will take place and through the Lieutenant Governor's office at Bayou Signet. And the roof program, the TORP program. Those are the two most significant things that I think people are trying to reach out about.
Sorry, go ahead.
Can you clarify, sorry, I may have misheard you, you said the building department in the parish is doing an assessment? You said something about 60?
Okay, we have people, we have our building official, we have a small building department. Jefferson Parish has offered us their expertise through their department as well. So we have about 6 employees right now with Jefferson Parish embedded with our building office, assessing structures as we speak in the community.
And about 60% of the structures
Have been assessed.
With the immediate tear down, as we choose.
Yes, we're looking at the most severe. We're looking for emergency demos, things that really are still putting people at risk. Maybe the neighboring structure. We've got houses leaning on houses next door. So those are the things we're looking at first. That's our, absolutely our phase 1 assessment.
Can I say something?
Yes.
Also, I'd like to say that,
Would you state your name again, sir, please?
I'm Rudy Smith, I'm the District 1 councilman. We have boots on the ground that are collecting this data and they're emailing it in, and we have created a database so that we can more or less identify which ones we need to, supply resources. And that's, it's going on, ongoing right now.
I just had one follow-up. So too on Fletcher, this is normally Travers's realm, but, yeah.
It's hard sometimes.
Yeah, 50-50 shot. And so, you said that they were gonna be a shelter at Signet. If anybody needs a ride or anything, I know you said you handle EMS, is it like, do they call you all, maybe potential transportation for people that may need to get to that shelter or something?
Yeah, I mean, we will stand ready to assist any of those people that are looking for alternative housing at this point. Today, they're embedded with extended family members or friends, but long-term may need that alternative housing, and we will do what we need to do to supply transportation. I think at this point in time, we're looking at a lower number of people that would be interested. We're collecting names for people who are interested at this time. It looks like that number is going to be probably under 20, because some people have chosen to, they have alternative options.
Any message you want to specifically get out to your constituents after this, I mean, we can call it a traumatic experience?
You know, I just want them to know that we are here. We have been here throughout this event, the council, the chief, myself, our administration, as well as the people in the streets department and public utilities and public works. They're incredible people, and they have been out here, in some cases, all night, truly with the police department. Our people can assure themselves that the chief and the police are doing everything to keep our community safe. Our utilities department and public works department is absolutely on the job and have made tremendous headway. I know our constituency can see that, the difference from maybe early morning till now, and just want them to know we're at City Hall. If they need anything, don't hesitate. 504-363-1500. Follow us on our Facebook page as well as our website.
And I'll just mention this, from a public safety standpoint. Last night, we had a tremendous amount of officers on the street, not only blocking intersections and that, but an increase in our patrol in the areas that were hardly hit during this event, as well as making sure that we didn't have any criminal problems with looters, and if we had cars just joyriding, we were stopping them and saying, hey, you know, this isn't the time or the place, and making sure that those who are vulnerable right now are not taken advantage of. And we're going to continue to do that until we're back up. We're fortunate we have officers from the Kenner Police Department have come in and volunteered and helped us, have sent help. West Wego has sent us individuals. Plaquemines Parish Sheriff's Office has sent us a number of people. And, you know, so we've boosted our patrol, boosted our numbers of officers on the streets to ensure that, you know, the public is safe. It's safe to travel. That, you know, if your home is in a vulnerable position, that, you know, we're going to protect it. So kind of at least give them that peace of mind.
And Chief, you may have already mentioned this, but did your officers have to do any rescues, and if so, how many?
You know, I couldn't tell you off the top of my head, but we did assist some people. As I said before, we run the EMS for the city of Gretna. So we had about 6 EMS roles. About half of those were treated on the scene by the paramedics. We did bring 3 individuals to the hospital for minor injuries to be treated there. That wasn't something that we could treat on the street. But, you know, from that standpoint, I mean, look, the fire department was out. We had a lot of gas leaks. Fire department helped us with us. I know they were involved in some rescues in homes as well. So it was a very coordinated and great effort. And the stories, as I said before, and I know the mayor highlighted about the information coming from the media, I can't tell you the countless times that I was told, the mayor was told, that if it wouldn't have been for the warnings, we would have not been in a safe place in our house. So that was a tremendous help. And the community came together. You know, Keith Eccles was one of our local artists, has an art gallery right on Derby Street. I was speaking to him a little earlier, and he said it was just amazing how many people came out and that had damage even, that came out to help him to get some of his artwork out of the gallery so it didn't get ruined. So, you know, I think it's just everyone came together, everyone worked together, and you know, and because of it, we're in the position we're in today. Anything else? Thank y'all.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
That is Gretna Police Chief Arthur Lawson, Mayor Belinda Constant giving an update. You heard the mayor say she believes that over 100 structures are damaged, possibly hundreds of structures. A lot of that roof damage, fence type damage. She says about 30 structures in the city of Gretna may need to be completely demolished. The damage is that extensive. A lot of it taking place on the river side of Gretna between 4th and 6th Street, not far from the police department. A lot of people, though, already rebuilding. The good news is, according to the mayor, they hope to have power fully restored sometime tonight, if not then by tomorrow, which is very good news for people who are still trying to pick up the pieces. We should also point out that was the latest from Gretna and Jefferson Parish. We are going to head in just a few moments to St. Charles Parish and Kelowna, a hard-hit area. Aubrey Killian is standing by. The governor, John Bell Edwards, is expected to be on the ground. He flew around in a Black Hawk helicopter about 45 minutes ago, surveying the damage in St. Charles Parish. And this is